Last night I started thinking about this, and this morning I woke up and I said my prayers, as I always do, and I decided, today's the day I'm going to do this. As simple as that.
That was a bomb. A major shakeup in Congress with House Speaker John Boehner calling it that he wants to quit. He wants out. And the jockeying for power, of course, is just beginning. Just hours ago, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy announcing his run for Speaker. Illinois Congressman Peter Roskam is another one of the many Republicans vying for a position within the Republican leadership. Congressman Roskam has already gathered enough support for a closed-door meeting to discuss the future of the party. Congressman Roskam goes on the record. Nice to see you, sir.
Thank you, Greta.
Okay, so what's the story? Is the GOP on Capitol Hill broken, or is your tent too big to get agreement? What's the problem up there?
I think we're damaged, but we're fixable, and this is what I mean by that. The idea of not moving and reflecting on the stepping down of Speaker John Boehner and moving headlong into a leadership election is a mistake. What we've got to do instead is reflect on this and think, what do we need to do to change and move forward? I think that there's some things to do, but one of the reasons that I called for a special closed meeting was to sort of pump the brakes on this all the way around. There's no other element of life where you'd end up, post-military engagement, you don't reflect back, or a business loss, you don't reflect back. We need to reflect before we can move forward.
Okay, but what does that mean by reflect? Sometimes you can do a whole lot of thinking and it's a lot of hand-wringing. What do you want? What do you think is the problem?
Fair point. Yeah, here's what I think the problem is, and I'm going to make this appeal to my colleagues, and my hunch is I'm going to hear some things tomorrow, Greta, that maybe I've never heard before. Other people are going to have suggestions. Here's my ideas. The House GOP needs to be more aggressive rhetorically against the administration. In other words, you've got to take the fight to the administration, and if you're perceived as fighting, then the political base says, you know what, I think you look at the world the way I look at the world, and I'm willing to listen to you when you're telling me what the next steps are. Part of our problem is that the House Republicans have been perceived as presuming we're going to lose and then reverse engineering from that loss. And I think people are tired of that. Second thing is, go ahead.
I would say, there's power in numbers, but the problem is, the way the President Obama's got, he's got divide and conquer. If you look so disorganized, it's very easy. If you really want to, achieve something, have some power, you have to be united.
That's right. And here's what the second point is. You've got to unite, Greta, around the definition of success. Right now, there's a wide range of definitions among House Republicans. What does success mean? What does it look like? Some people say only thing that's successful is if you enact laws. Other people say, well, winning the debate, like Margaret Thatcher used to say, before winning the vote, that's success. Other people say this is a prelude to the 2016 campaign and let's help our nominees. We've got to have a shared understanding of what success means to be. And then the other thing is, I'm going to make an appeal that says we need to go on offense against the administration in a number of areas. The administration has us on defense. Let's put them on defense. And I'm going to suggest we start with Iran. The administration has made a massive mistake. Let's hold them to account. I've got some ideas I'm going to share with my colleagues on that. But my bottom line is be forward-leaning into these fights. And if we do, then I think we create goodwill and a level of trust where if you go back to the political base and say, these are subsequent steps we need to make, they can hear what you're saying.
Yes or no? Are you going to run for a leadership position?
I've not made a single phone call pursuing a leadership position.
That's a dodge?
I have not made up my mind.
That was a dodge. That wasn't a yes or no. That was a dodge.
So here's my answer. I've not made up my mind. There's nothing to run for until we change the disposition of the House Republicans. If we do, then it can be a great majority. But I think we got a lot of work to do.
Congressman, nice to see you. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Greta.